Hi, this is Derek, and this is Old Man White Belt. Today is day number one. Adult class starts at 7:30 tonight, so whether I like it or not, it's here. And that leads me to the topic of this video, which is going to be, what do I need? What did I buy in order to get started? Because that's always a hidden expense that you don't really expect when you're going to go back and get yourself in shape. You end up having to buy athletic equipment of some sort or another, and jiu-jitsu is no different from that. So, what do you need to buy? The answer to that is, I don't really know. And that sounds like a terrible answer, but I qualify it because every instructor may be a little bit different. Every academy may be a little bit different in what they require you to have or what they recommend that you have. So I'm just going to show you what I would expect and what I am expecting. I haven't gotten an opportunity to talk to the instructor at this academy yet to see if there are any specific things that he likes people to have in their equipment bag or bring with them to class. But there's some fairly standard items that any jiu-jitsu school that you go to, you're going to run into. I need this, and that probably begins with something called a gi. And yeah, that's the pajama looking things that some martial artists wear. I've got one I'm going to show you. You guys have probably seen these before, but this is one of my old ones from a long time ago, and I probably shouldn't show that because that's a different academy from where I'm going now, and that's the reason why I can't use this one. There are competing branches of jiu-jitsu, and that's another topic for another video blog. But pretty standard, you're going to need a gi, which includes the gi top that I just showed you, and gi pants that you wear under those. You most likely will buy this from your instructor. I personally, as I previously mentioned, I'm a single dad, so budget is super important. Like, I run a deficit budget like the federal government most of the time, so I need to be careful about cost. Most of you are probably, if you go to jiu-jitsu classes somewhere, you're going to buy your gi from your instructor, and that's cool. They usually sell a high-quality gi. Lots of times it's made by a brand called Fuji or something like that, which is pretty standard and will last for a long time. Some of the academies are going to require that you only wear white gi because they're more traditional. They might be associated with a certain branch of jiu-jitsu. There are other academies that are a lot more progressive, and they don't really care what color your gi is. But if you buy a fuchsia gi or a camo gi or a tie-dye gi and wear it to class, you can expect somebody's going to try to tap you just because you wore that day. So white is safe, white's traditional, white is good. Expected expense, anywhere from $100 to $150. Now, like I told you, budget is important for me, so I'm not going to buy a gi directly from my instructor, and I already explained to him what my individual circumstances were as a single dad and etc. So I think most of the time instructors make money off the gis that they sell, and that's cool. You know, I don't begrudge them that. They've got to find a way to keep the doors open, and I want to support that. But on the flip side of things, I have to be realistic about what I have available to spend and stay within my budget as much as possible. So I went on Amazon and I bought a gi in my size that was about half the price and had decent reviews. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that it's going to be something that's going to be okay for a while. I do recommend from my previous experience that one or two or three or four or multiple gis are great if you're really serious about it, and that's something I intend to invest in as I go along. The other thing that you're going to need uniform wise is a belt, and that will most likely come with your gi. Your very first one will be white, like this one that I got 100 years ago, which I'm going to use again. I took stripes. You can kind of see where some of the adhesive is still on there, but I tried to get all of it off. But you're going to get a white belt with a plain black strip, and this is the introductory belt to jiu-jitsu. It goes from white to blue to purple, brown, and then black. Red for the big guys. And in between each belt you get degrees, which are little white strips that go on this dark portion right here, which I didn't do a very good job of getting all the adhesive off of these, but I'm going to reuse this one again because of budget. And you have to learn to tie that. There's some videos online on YouTube if you want to learn to tie your own gi and not have to ask anybody, or you can just wait until you get to the academy and most likely somebody will show you. Once you go in, when you go in there as a beginner, like I'm going to do tonight, you pretty much are an infant in the ways of jiu-jitsu, and you get help if you ask. So if you go to jiu-jitsu and you don't know how to tie a belt, just open your mouth and say, hey, can somebody help me? I think it's real important to make sure you give the respect to the other people that have been training for a long time, and everyone above you in rank is basically another instructor for you. So you give them that respect and you ask for the help, and if you ask for it genuinely, sincerely, and you're not a douchebag, most likely you're going to get it. The other thing that I bought and I recommend is most people call these shirts a rash guard. Keeps your skin from getting all abraded while you're doing the sport that you're in. You see them on surfers and stuff. I usually wear one of these under my gi. I bought one of these today to wear because I'm not going to have a gi, and because I will use it later on under my gi. And most likely you probably won't have a gi for your first few classes either. You'll have to wait for it to arrive. So having a comfortable shirt to wear and athletic shorts that tie. You don't want these coming down the middle of class. So tie. And I don't know what I've done with it, but here's the packaging. Mouth guard. I got a mouth guard because I'm having some dental work done and trying to fix some stuff on the upper side. And if you hit the floor or you get an impact to the jaw somehow or another, even just getting your jaw pushed together, pushing your teeth together, you could damage your teeth. So I recommend that you buy a mouth guard. Either they come in singles, which is just the top, which I got, or a double, which will cover your entire mouth, your entire front teeth, uppers and lowers both. And I'm a gagger, so I don't like a lot of intrusive stuff in my mouth, and so I just got the single, and I'm about to get that fitted to my teeth here in a little bit. You have to heat it up and then put it in your mouth and let it cool down, etc. So these are the basic ingredients of the things that I think I'm going to need. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need. The only other thing I didn't mention was a cup. For guys, probably not a bad idea. I'm not going to worry about it right now because the instructor did tell me that I wouldn't be allowed to spar right away as a white belt. So I shouldn't have to worry about taking too many shots to the groin right away. But it's definitely something to be concerned about down the line, have in your inventory, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of hard sparring. You never know when somebody is going to put a knee on your belly and then something happens and that knee ends up in your, in the old sisters, as Gene LaBelle used to say. So that's conclusion of my second video, which is basically what do I need on day one. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this is basically just my best guess, and they are most likely things that you can expect that you would need to have in your inventory as well. But every single instructor, every single academy may be slightly different, may have slightly different needs, and they may train different content, and their curriculums might be a little bit different. There are a lot of schools that focus on the sport aspect of jiu-jitsu, going to tournaments and competition, and that's great. And then there are other schools that sort of focus on the street aspect of jiu-jitsu, self-defense, and sometimes the curriculums are different. There are some videos out there that illustrate that on, the difference between trying to not sacrifice points in a match as opposed to not letting somebody punch you in the face repeatedly. So I'm going to be learning the latter of the two, which is also the more traditional branch. Slower promotion progress, but the curriculum is a lot more intensive and comprehensive and covers things that you can use just walking around if you run into a situation. Now, one of the things that I learned a long time ago was the best option in a situation like that, even if you're equipped to deal with it, option number one is to find a way to de-escalate or just to get out. So jiu-jitsu is not an offensive weapon. It's 100% defensive, and that's one of the reasons that I like it, because I don't have to worry about kicks or strikes. I don't have to worry about punching you or any of that. All I have to do is close the distance, get you on the ground, and then wait for you to make a mistake so I can choke you or pull your arm off, or one of those other fabulous things that you see in UFC. And to me, that's a lot more effective, because at the end of the day, if you can use jiu-jitsu in dominant position and nobody gets hurt, not you, not the person that you're defending against, maybe that ends up in a situation where people can find peace instead of war. That's why that appeals to me. That's one aspect that I really find sets jiu-jitsu apart from other things. It's all about gaining dominant position and not hurting them any more than is absolutely necessary to make them stop hurting you. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I appreciate you being supportive. I've gotten tons of messages so far about you can do this, You know, my friends have reached out and said, this is a good move for you. So I want to thank everybody who has taken the time to say, go forward and keep this thing going, and, you know, be successful and be happy again. And, you know, my friends don't care if I do jiu-jitsu. They just want me to be happy again, and that's super cool. So shout out to all those folks. You know who you are. I appreciate you, and I love you, and I thank you. And for all the rest of you, I want to wish you a peaceful day and good karma. And I'll see you again probably right before I get my butt beat for like an hour. Yay. See you then. This is Derek, and this is Old Man White Belt.